cafe, a restaurant, anything like that, we receive a certificate for that as well. We have Marketplace. I'm not sure if anybody knows of that, but Marketplace is a place where employers themselves can put up an offer to the young people. So if an employer is able to go into the school to speak about something, or is willing to take young people into their workplace to identify different career routes, that's the opportunity for them to make that offer to the school, and the school can then pick that up. I think that's all really I've got. I'm open to questions.
Yep, thank you for that, Nicola. That was really interesting. Definitely some opportunities there for sort of collaborating with businesses and on sort of the World Host training and the marketplace schemes you were talking about just there. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I can pick them up at the end. Or if anyone has any just now for Nicola, feel free. If not, I'll hand over to Stephen Carswell, lecturer at North Highland College UHI in Thurso, speak a bit about the cookery courses they've got up there. So Stephen, just whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thank you. Just check my mics. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you for inviting me to speak today, and thanks for everyone for coming along. My name's Stephen Robertson Carswell. I'm one of the chef lecturers at the North Highland College here in Thurso. And today I'm basically just going to have a little chat about what we do here, the courses we offer, and the sort of pathways and careers that you can get by coming to the college. I've got some notes in front of me in case I get lost in my place. So what do we do here at college? We do predominantly practical cookery courses, i.e. chef courses, but there's nothing to stop you coming to college and starting at the bottom of the ladder and going all the way up to degree level. I'll speak about further education, what we do here, and then I'll be handing over to Darlene to talk about the UHI. So, how do I get to college? How do you get into college? We'll start maybe at the bottom rung of the ladder. We have a great partnership with schools, so we do a school link program on a Friday. So the school pupils pick 3 vocational subjects they are quite interested in, and they come over for a taster session, and they come in the taster sessions, and then I usually give them free food, which is quite a good incentive for them to come back. And they generally sign up for the cookery courses on a Friday, which gives them a great introduction to college. You get them familiar with the college, gets them familiar with the tutors, and we find that leads into full-time courses at the end of that. So that's the school link route. There's also a pathways route. We've got a course, Pathways to Employment course, which is aimed at people who may be disenfranchised with education or maybe haven't worked for years. They can't get a foot in the ladder to employment, so they come and do the Pathways course, and they get a taster session along the vocational route. They come to me on a Monday, and we just do cookery and fun things in the kitchen, and that sometimes leads for them to come into full-time courses the year after that. In fact, they're here today with a little bake sale. So that's basically a pathway into the full-time course. Our first full-time course is SVQ level 1. You don't need any qualifications to come on that course, and that's based in their cafe at the college, in the college building. So basically they work in a real environment. They're making sandwiches, they're cooking the meals, they're serving people, and it's a great way to get them, to give them employability skills. So what is an employability skill? It's quite hard to quantify what that is, but we think that they should be able to come to work on time. They should be dressed appropriately, should be clean, they should be able to talk to people, work in a group, working as a team. And it's amazing, they come in, they barely look at you in the eye, and then after a few months of talking to customers over the hot plate. So it's a great introduction to the industry, and that lasts a full year, 3 days a week. After they complete that course, they can move up into level 2, SVQ level 2, professional cookery. That is a pathway to level 2. You can also come straight into level 2 if you've got 2 national 5s, or if you've got some industry experience. I'm not going to disparage someone from coming in because they haven't got 2 national 5s. They may have had a lot of experience in the industry, so we'll bring them in as well. So level 2 is quite an intensive course because that'll actually last the full 5 days. They have a couple of days in the kitchen, learning the practical skills. They have a day of theory work. Once COVID's over and our restaurants open again, they'll be doing a day of service. So they help serve the food in their Flagstones restaurant, which the level 3s produce. And again, that's a great way for them to sort of get communication skills, talk to customers, things like that. And then on a Friday, we have our chef mentoring scheme, which we've found really, really good over the years. It's basically a work placement. So we have a partnership with all the local hotels. I'm sure Andrew will wax lyrically about it when he comes to speak, because he usually takes a few of our students. And that's a great way of getting them into the industry that day a week. They go into hotels, and if they work hard and show willing, more often not, at least a full-time job, or at least a few hours in a local hotel. So we do pride ourselves in the fact that if you really want to get a job in the industry, you come along to us. It's a good way of getting in there. Yeah. So that's level 2. We also at level 2 do a winter's chef course. That's aimed at maybe seasonal workers who maybe get paid off in October and maybe not be hired till March. So October to March we do a shortened version, more condensed version of level 2 qualification. We haven't done it in Thurso yet, but we do it in Dornoch. We also do Modern Apprentices at level 2. So if you've got a full-time job and you want a qualification, you don't want to come to college, I'll come out to your work and assess you, and you'll do all your portfolio work and stuff online. So that's basically level 2. From that, you go up to level 3. Level 3 is shorter course. It's only two and a half days to 3 days a week, which allows the ones who've got a job from level 2 to still keep their job and still come to college to get the qualification. It's really good. And the level 3, they're basically serving our Flagstone's restaurant when it opens up again. Now, after level 3, some of them just want to leave and go and work in industry. Others maybe want to go into higher education. So we then offer HNC, Higher National Certificate in Professional Cookery, and that's some bad cookery, but it focuses on things like hospitality supervision, food hygiene, cost and control, and that sort of stuff. They do HNC, and then they can actually go into a second year of a degree after that if they wish. And I'm sure Darlene will talk a bit more about the degree level courses. I think we do a BA in events management, hospitality management, things like that. So that's basically from school link right up to degree level. You can go with us, all the way up. Yeah. I've got a young lady who came, a testimonial young lady came here 6 years ago from Wick High School. She came as a very, very shy girl. I wouldn't say Budagus, and she started in the school link, and then she came to us full time in level 2 and stayed the full year. And with the chef mentoring scheme, she got a job in a local bistro. She kept that on in the summer, came back to do level 3, still working, and she said that she fancied maybe going into teaching. So I said, well, you know, the sky's your limit, you can do what you want. So she then progressed to HNC, and then she went down to Perth, and she's done 2 years of teaching qualification, and now she's going to be taking a probationary home economics teacher at Wick High School, which is fantastic. You know, she was right from school, coming as a school pupil to go back to teaching at school in the space of 6 or 7 years. It shows you, you know, what can be achieved if you work hard to us. Yeah. So that's basically what we do at Thurso. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And if I've got any questions, there's a Q&A session at the end. You can ask me any questions you want. Probably missed out a few things, but hey ho. Thank you very much, and I'll let Andrew do the next section.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Stephen. Yeah, it was really interesting, just that story at the end you were saying. It really highlights the different pathways there are sort of after the college. It was really interesting. Thank you for that.
No problem.
So yeah, I'll hand over to Annie Mackay from Caithness Collection. I'll just bring up your PowerPoint for you. Oh no, sorry, it's Darlene. Sorry, next. My apologies, Darlene. If you're there, who talk about course available through UHI. If you're there, Darlene.
Yes, I'm here.
Yep.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, Ilse. I'll try and share my presentation with you that I have, and hopefully that will go to plan. So hold on 2 seconds. Can you just tell me if you can see that okay?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
And has that gone, excuse me, and has that gone into presentation mode okay?
Yeah, you can see it perfect. Yeah.
Super. Thank you very much. And thanks, Ilse, for inviting me along today to give you an update. So my name is Darlene Russell and I'm the university's Knowledge Exchange Officer. I've been in my existing post for about 4.5 years now, although I've actually been with the university for 16 years. I've got an extensive background in hospitality and tourism. Within my role, I have the responsibility of working with different businesses, communities to explore ways for generating innovation-led revenue, generating opportunities for the UHI partnership, and also I support all the sectoral groups within UHI, tourism being one of them. In my short presentation today, I'll highlight the purpose of the sectoral groups, or a tourism example of UHI Knowledge Exchange, as well as providing a taster of our tourism and hospitality curriculum before showing a podcast about our recently launched Caithness programme. We have 7 sectoral groups within UHI, for example, the aquaculture, active health and wellbeing, and creative economy and tourism. And the sectoral groups have been developed to oversee the implementation of the university's innovation funds that we receive from the Scottish Funding Council. Some of the activities that the sectoral groups undertake are stakeholder events, academics, researchers working with the different sectors on specific projects, sharing the expertise and contributing to increased businesses, investment in research and development in the region, and to name but a few. As an example of this within the tourism sector is the project between Ginspired and the Institute for Northern Studies. And this collaboration creates a route map for historical sites while showcasing local gin producers, enhancing economic benefits to the local area. And that was a project that we did with Ginspired and the university through a knowledge transfer partnership. UHI is made up of 13 academic partners, and we have research students, we have got students studying higher education courses, and we've got students studying further education courses from Shetland to Argyll. And Stephen also identified some of the particular programmes that he runs specifically within Thurso, from the school partnership up to HNC programmes. Specifically to the tourism and hospitality sector, we have a number of programmes from HNC to the BA in Hospitality Management, from the MSc Tourism. And then we have our suite of adventure tourism and marine and coastal tourism programmes. What I'm going to do within the next couple of slides is just to highlight some of those particular programmes so you can get a little bit of a flavour for what they are made up of. So our BA Honours in Adventure Tourism Management is focusing on adventure tourism businesses, on entrepreneurship and guiding and interpretation. And some of the subject areas include adventure tourism guiding and interpretation, contemporary issues in management and adventure tourism, and professional adventure practice. Within our BA Honours Adventure Education programme, which is run in partnership with the Outward Bound Trust, which is focusing really on education and outdoor learning, looks at the pedagogy and practice of outdoor and adventure education. It's embedded professional experience in partnership with this Outward Bound Trust, and some of the subject areas include the adventure education journeys, adventure therapy, and professional adventure practice. In our BSc Honours in Adventure Performance and Coaching, this again specifically adventure and performance and an adventure in coaching, and it focuses on the sports science, the analysis and coaching. And it looks at the practical application and field research in sports science. And some of the specific specialist subject areas within this programme are through the sport and exercise psychology, coaching skills and adventure therapy. In the BA Honours in Marine and Coastal Tourism, it focuses on a wide range of issues related to sustainable development in the marine and coastal environment. And specific areas within this course are tourism, sustainability, and entrepreneurship and business skills. Steve mentioned the BA in Hospitality Management, and this particular Hospitality Management programme allows an opening into the diverse and dynamic industry through a well thought out mix of practical and hands-on education with a strong management focus. And some of the specialist features within this course is it strongly focuses on work placements, and in years 1 and 2 in the HNC and HND you will learn specifically through direct experience on working with the sector. The MSc in Tourism is a fully online programme, and it offers 2 specialised exit awards, and the particular pathway you choose will depend on your own specific background and the interests that you have. I would really encourage you to have a look on our website at the video clip from our programme leader on the specific programme. I'm now going to share with you the podcast about our recently launched Catalyst programme, and I'm hoping this will work.
Hi everyone, very sorry I can't be with you in person today to talk about the new Catalyst programme, but hopefully the next couple of minutes will give you a sense of who it's aimed at, the main topic areas, how it's delivered, and the practicalities of actually getting onto the programme. So my name is Roz Thomas. I'm an enterprise lecturer based at Inverness College UHI, and I'm part of the Create team, which is the hub for enterprise and innovation. And this is part of the Centre for Remote and Sustainable Communities, headed by Dr. Vicky Johnson. I work with students, with staff, and with businesses within our local community to develop enterprise and entrepreneurial skills and competences. In terms of Catalyst, Catalyst is a 12-week fully funded programme aimed at sole traders and micro businesses within the Highlands and Islands, Perthshire and Morayshire area, and also across all industries and sectors. It's aimed at developing entrepreneurial skills, improving leadership practices, and ultimately growing the participants' business. So how do we deliver it? It's delivered fully online across the 12 weeks with 6 topics of approximately 6 hours of self-directed learning using our virtual learning system, Brightspace, and WebEx Cisco. There is an induction that is built into the programme to make sure that all participants are familiar with the technology and are happy about using it before they embark on the programme. As well as this, we meet 3 times for a total of 6 hours to network, discuss the learning, and allow for a question and answer. Currently, these sessions run on Tuesday evenings from 6 till 8 because this really suits the day-to-day business life of most of our participants. This could possibly increase to as many as 6 sessions going forward, and there are currently also optional drop-in sessions scheduled across the 12 weeks for the participants to come in and meet me and ask any questions. Currently we're offering an October and February start date with 12 participants on each programme. We also have local and regional entrepreneurs who share their experiences through pre-recorded videos, which can be listened back by participants. It's a non-accredited programme, so no exam or assessment at the end of it, but we do ask that by the end of the programme, each participant sends me an action plan for their short and long-term objectives for their business. It's also accredited at, not credited, but it's levelled at approximately an SCQF level 8 to 9 for anybody that's wanting to know that information. So how do you apply? Acceptance onto the programme is through a short informal chat with myself to ensure that there is a fit between the participant and the programme. They're then verbally offered a place at the end of the interview with me, and they need only then complete a simple enrolment form to allow them to access the online materials. Eligibility is that you must be the founder of a business or the main decision maker within a business. So that's all I have to say. If you're at all interested in applying yourself, or you know of anybody, then just ask them to please get in touch using my contact email, which is Roslyn, ROSLYN .thomas.ic@uhi.ac.uk. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.
As Ros identified, the Caithness programme offers training tailored to small businesses and sole traders throughout the Highlands and Islands. And this particular programme was developed for small rural business owners by small rural business owners. And it's proving to be a very successful programme. UHI works with businesses for guest lecturing, for secondments, for collaborative projects and sharing of our academics and researchers' expertise, as well as facilities that we have within UHI. This last slide is an example of some funding opportunities available for businesses. For example, innovation vouchers, challenge funds, and even the UHI Business Ideas competition, to name but a few. Okay, is that stop sharing okay?
Yeah, that's stop sharing. Thank you so much for that, Darlene. It was really interesting to see like what variety of courses and opportunities there are available through UHI. So I think, yeah, lastly, we've got Andrew Mackay, owner of the Caithness collection, who's going to speak a bit about his own sort of career pathway within the sector. So to share the slides there for you, Andy. And again, any questions, just remember to pop them in the chat and we'll pick them up at the end of the session.
Thanks, Elsa. Just wait for my PowerPoint to come up. Do I control it here on my keyboard then, Elsa, once it's up?
I can do. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. It seems to, if I share it through Teams.
While it's loading up, if I just explain, my name's Andrew Mackay. I'm from the Caithness collection, which is 3 hotels based in Caithness, funnily enough. The Norseman, the Pentland and the Castletown. And Kathy's asked me to come along today to talk about my career journey and how I ended up in the Caithness collection. And it's a journey, well, it's a situation where I'm very passionate about. Hospitality is often not seen as a career of choice by so many. I mean, I had so many barriers put in my way before I finally found my vocation. You know, from career advice, very poor career advice, to lack of opportunity, because I'm born and bred in Caithness, and it's something that's unfortunately we really need to rewrite the book and continually fight against it to make sure that it is something that's on a level playing field alongside so many other sectors, engineering, retail, all that. I've got a son who's in S4, and he's coming up against similar challenges now as I did when I was a wee lad.
Just having some problems trying to share this.
No problem. The PowerPoint I've got is actually one that I've taken to primary 7s in a local school, and also S3 in Thurso High School, to just explain how I ended up where I was, and it's to do with the DYW No Right Path, which was a really good project. You know, there is no right path to where you end up, and so many people don't leave school and go into the career that they end up in so many walks of life. So it was a really good incentive, and it shows people that, you know, there's so much pressure to make a career choice when you're 16, 17, and so many people don't choose the one that they end up doing. And I apologise if it's quite basic, but it is aimed at primary kids. So when I wanted to leave school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a lot of pressure to do the Dunnery route. My older brother was a Dunnery apprentice and a very successful one, and I wanted to be as good as him as whatever I did. And I actually got accepted on the Dunnery apprenticeship, but something told me it wasn't right, so I actually ended up applying to the Clydesdale Bank, and I actually got accepted there when I was 16, so I was very lucky. But do I have control, Ilsa?
Possibly not. I can skip through there for you.
Okay, but it actually, for me, if the next slide will show you where it actually started. My dad was a butcher, had a butcher van that went into the country and then a butcher shop, and I actually bagged tatties when I was 10, from the age of 10. So I bagged tatties, carts and ingans in the days when it was pounds and ounces. So that's when it started for me, and it built up a really good work ethic, which is something that I would always instill in when I go to primary kids and all that, is get a job as soon as you can when you're 14. We have loads of kids that work alongside studying at school, and it gives them such a good work ethic that will stand them in great stead, whatever industry they go into. You know, it's not just about hospitality, but it's something that will stand them in great stead. And actually, when I work with DIYW, and I've done the mock interviews that Nicola mentioned earlier in the high schools, and I can tell the ones where, you know, I see the students that work with us, and I see them. I don't interview them because obviously I know them, but I can see their confidence when they walk into the room with all these interviewers in. It's so much more stronger confidence in their own social skills and their own abilities, because they've gone out, worked in the industry, spoken to the general public, and you know, and got all those social skills that you need in whatever walk of life you decide on. So it's really helpful to get that instilled so that they can get them into hospitality, so that we can, you know, show them what hospitality can do, and we will get a good percentage of them staying in hospitality. So that's where I got my work ethic from when I was 10 years old, and worked all the way through until I joined the bank at 16. If I could get the next slide, please, Elsa. So then I thought my career future was in Clydesdale Bank. My parents were very excited. My grandparents were very excited. I finally got into the bank, a great career path and a good standing in the industry. However, after 3 years, I really enjoyed working with the general public. Next slide, please, Elsa. I feel like Boris Johnson here. Did he not? Next slide, please. I had a part-time job at the Pentland Hotel, and I absolutely adored it. I worked at weekends, so I had a nice 9-to-5 job in the bank, but I worked weekends doing weddings and doing the bar, and I just loved it. And although I liked the public side of the Clydesdale Bank, I didn't like the autonomy, the bureaucracy, all the constraints that comes with working in a bank. So for much to my father's disgust, I decided to go to college and study hospitality, hotel management. So I went off to Glasgow, and I took it was quite a big gamble because I had a nice career path laid out in front of me. And I graduated from Glasgow Caledon University. And during that 4 years at university, I had a year's sandwich course, a year's placement in my 3rd year at the Grand in Brighton, which is the next slide, Elsa. It's the Grand, a 5-star right at the south coast on the English Channel in Brighton, and I absolutely just had a great time, just flourished at the Grand in Brighton. So then when I finished my degree, I got offered a job with them back at Brighton, so I went back there and I did assistant manager, function bars manager down there for 3 years. So next slide, please. And then I suddenly realized that I wanted to travel the world, and if I didn't do it then, before I was 25, I would never do it. I would get too ensconced in having a salary and a property and all the things that comes with that. So I chucked my job in again, much to my father's disgust once more, and backpacked around the world. I did 10 countries in 12 months. I decided I had to do it, and I only had money really for 2 months of it. So I was going to work my way around it, and hospitality gave me that skills that I could do that in whatever country I was in. I managed to find job, find work so that I could pay for my next month's adventure or next 2 months' adventure. And actually, from my hospitality contacts, I actually got offered a job before I came back. I was in Malaysia, and my old boss had been promoted, and he spoke to my parents, and I remember phoning from Malaysia to I got a job offer, which was actually a promotion from what I'd left at the Grand in Brighton. So very, very lucky, but it stood me in good stead. So I was coming back to a better job when I came back to the UK. And then from that, I worked at the Grand Harbour, which is a 5-star hotel in Southampton. That was my boss that got me back into the UK. He then got promoted 6 months later and took me with him to the Grand Harbour in Southampton. Did that for 3 years, and then after 3 years, I got headhunted back to the Grand in Brighton as the deputy general manager. So what I'm probably trying to say is I took a lot of risks, but it all paid off. And from the Grand in Brighton, I then got jobs in London and Edinburgh with Marriott hotels, and I got a great grounding in hospitality. And I finally got my GM's position back in Edinburgh at the Menzies Belford, which is the old Dragonara. I don't know if anybody knows the Dragonara down in Dean's Village in Edinburgh. I think it's now Britannia. Anyway, I got that. But my ultimate goal was really to come back to Caithness, and to achieve that and to continue my career. Worked out that I ended up having to do it for myself, because there was no big chain of hotels or GM jobs up here. It was all family run. It's all quite small business. So I was lucky enough to have a property that I'd bought when I was in Southampton, which I sold, and it helped me get the bank funding to buy the Castletown Hotel, 24-bedroom hotel in Castletown. My brother was out of work. He was a butcher by trade, but a very good cook. So we decided we'd do it together. So my brother and I started in the Castletown Hotel, and after 2 years, it was going fairly well. The bank was quite happy with us, so we took a gamble, and we took the Norseman Hotel on, which is 48 bedrooms, a bigger operation in Wick. And then for some reason we were risk adverse, and we just kept going, and we bought 6 years later, we bought the Pentland Hotel in Thurso. And from that, we created the Caithness collection. I soon learned that to achieve success in the Caithness collection, I needed to get a good management strategy, a structure in place, and to achieve that, we worked really closely with UHI, and we did the Modern Apprenticeships. We've had 4 graduate from the Modern Apprenticeships in hotel and leadership, and it's been very successful for us. And with the 3 hotels, we were able to put together a package that gave them a variety, flexibility, but also a good, really grounding in different areas. So we put a package together with housekeeping, chefing, food and beverage, and reception, front office work. So and that would be spread over the 3 hotels, so they got a really good experience, and it allowed us to build the managers for the future. And that was something that wasn't available in Caithness when I was growing up, or to be honest, I would never have probably left. So it was very fulfilling for us to actually achieve that, so that we could allow the local talent to have an opportunity in Caithness and not have to leave Caithness to achieve that. And I'm delighted to say we've got 2 more starting hopefully next month. We're meeting with the North Island College, and we've got them accepted onto the course. So we've got 2 more starting in next month, and these are our kids that have worked with us for a number of years while they were at school, and they've grown to have a passion for hospitality, and we're able to achieve that. So and part of my presentation to the kids, if you go to the next slide, Ilsa, is it's a really good varied career, that you meet lots of people, and it's very engaging, and gives you such great variety and flexibility to, as I did, travel the world, start your own business if you want to, have a corporate life in a big chain of hotels. It's so varied and entertaining and interesting. It's something that as an industry, we don't get enough credit for, and we don't shout about it enough. So obviously that's Frank Bruno. Met him. He actually had his camcorder, and when the days was camcorder, he got his camcorder stolen from his bedroom when he was in the Grand Harbour in Southampton. So I had the great task of having to tell this world champion boxer that his family's camcorder had been stolen from his room, which was lovely. Julie Walters, met her. Buzz Aldrin, second man on the moon, met him as well. Very good. And then obviously we've been at the Grand Brighton with loads of political leaders and their party conferences. And then the next slide, please, Elsa. And then I missed out on meeting Nelson Mandela, which is probably one of the few regrets I've got in life. So I was busy in another part of the hotel. And then when we took on the Norseman, 3 months in, we had the Comic Relief Land's End, John Groats to Land's End cycle run. So we had Davina McCall, Miranda Hart, David Williams, Russell Howard, all these people coming up. So it does happen up here too. And I think what I'm most proud of is actually achieving, well, it's now going into 14 years, that was an old picture, that's my brother Sandy, is actually achieving a business that has run for 14 years. But in the next slide, what I'm really, really proud of is what we've managed to do with the Modern Apprentice Scheme. And I'm delighted to say as well, we've actually got 3 student chefs coming on board as well. One's already with Stephen in level 3, I think he only is, Stephen. He's been with us since working with us at school, and we've also got 2 that are going to be hotel based but go through the NHC professional cookery course while on with us, and they've been with us as well since starting at 14, and they want to pursue a career, which is particularly exciting for us to have our homegrown chefs here. So that is something. But I do think as well is that we really need to, as an industry, get into the primary schools, change the perception that hospitality is a default career, and that it is something that we should be proud of. And it's about changing that mindset of the kids, but also of the parents, that it is a career of longitude and also longevity, not longitude, but also a career of fulfillment and very, very satisfying careers. And it's not just waiting on and cleaning rooms. There's so much more. And the next slide then highlights how many of these different in the bigger hotels you can have all these different careers, and it's about identifying to the primary kids that that's something. When I was in primary school, we did visits to industries, but it was like the fire engine, fire station, the police station, and things like that. But we've tried to get primary schools into the hotels and show them what we can do. And we did a really successful one where they were doing a project from about fishing, about the fishing industry, and we were doing it from the sea to the plate. So they came in and we had haddock cooked for them. They served it to themselves, and they ate the produce from what the project was, and it showed them the whole sort of journey and how it's really integrated into everyday life, and hospitality is something that can be quite exciting. So that's it.
Thank you so much for that, Andy. It's great to sort of see how all of the things we talked about so far in the event have sort of come together at the end through a lot of the young people you've got from UHI and through the courses available through there. It's really great to see, and it's fantastic to hear your own story as well. It's really interesting. I'm sure everyone else thought the same. I don't know if anyone else has any sort of comments, questions about anything from any of the speakers so far. I'm just having a wee look through the chat.
You want to switch off recording now for the chat session?
Oh, yep. Sorry about that. Yep, that's a recording.